Hello everybody, welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished incredibly. No one expected this. I didn't expect this. It's finished Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1. I mean, what a game and what a performance for Manchester United. It's been a long time coming, but I mean, it's ironic, isn't it? It comes of all the days that it comes today. But before we get started into the reaction, so I do want to say a big shout out to all the fans who protested outside Old Trafford and who were protesting inside the stadium as well. Absolutely necessary, needed to be done, needs to be done. And a big shout out to all of you for doing that. So keep the momentum going, keep it going. I think let's hope we don't get blinded by this one. This out. Let's hope we don't get blinded by all the positive transfer stories that are circulating around. I think this is something that needs to keep going. But anyway, onto the game itself, and I gotta say, Liverpool are in trouble. Liverpool are in serious trouble because if you're losing to Manchester United, nobody loses to Manchester United these days. But if you're losing to Manchester United, there's issues in that team, and there are big issues in that Liverpool team. I think Erik got his tactics absolutely spot on. He got it absolutely correct. Dropping Maguire was necessary, needed to be done, and I'm glad that he did it. And there'll be a lot of controversy about dropping Ronaldo, but actually, I thought that's the right decision because I don't think Ronaldo is match fit. I don't think he's match fit. And if you're going to try to play a mobile front three, then you can't really have Ronaldo in there as the focal point. What you need in the sort of game, there's two ways to play. There's either you play Ronaldo and you hope that Liverpool will kind of go a little bit further back. You can push Liverpool a bit further back because they've got a target man, so you try to push them back, which is what Fulham did when they had Mitrovic. Or what you try to do is you try to play a mobile front three who can exploit the space in behind with the defense with the high line. I think that's what Ten Hag chose. He chose, I'm not going to play Ronaldo, I'm not going to play target man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a front three that can kind of exploit the space that Liverpool leave behind. And that was a risky strategy, but it paid off today. I think he got that right. And I mean that there's so much Liverpool with the better team. I think for most of that, the 25 minutes, it was the better team in that first half, and they had chance. I mean, Alexander really should have scored. It was a brilliant pass from Scott McTominay. I don't know where that came out of from Scott McTominay to put a good pass, and Bruno kind of gets it away. Make sure that he gets it out of Alisson's reach and puts it to Alexander. Alexander should score, but he hits the post. But you thought that might be costly, but a few minutes later he makes up for that with a nice cross in, and it's a wonderful finish from Jadon Sancho. I mean, Jadon Sancho, what a nice little touch. They had two or three touches to take out two or three players, and then he scores. I tell you what, Van Dijk, there's a problem there with Virgil van Dijk. I don't think he had a good game today. And I think and that goal was also a problem because he didn't even try to block it. At times he looked so casual when he was running back. I almost feel Van Dijk had this stature about him before that injury. I think he had this stature, like he knew what he could do. And sometimes the strikers almost looked at him when he knows what he's. It was almost like they didn't want to take him on, or they didn't want to, basically didn't want to attack him too much. And I think he had that stature about him. He's lost that stature now, but I think because of losing that, he's not lost his ability. He's still a good defender, and the flashes of that. The problem is because he lost that stature. A lot of things that players were not willing to do before, I think they're not doing that, and he's not being able to react to that as quickly as he was. So to me, that's the problem with Van Dijk is I think he's lost his stature a little bit. He's still got the attributes. He's lost that stature, and so players are more willing to take him on, and therefore he's having to do more. And he can't adapt to that, right? Sometimes you think you have this air of invincibility, and suddenly you don't. But anyway, that first goal was a problem with the way Liverpool conceded it. And Liverpool, and the problem for Liverpool was that the way their midfield was getting bypassed throughout that first half, it was just incredible to watch. It almost felt Eriksen basically, I think there were two or three times where he just had the ball and he just went, there you go, I'm just going to pass it here. And suddenly you almost felt like there was a United player in space when Eriksen had the ball and would make a pass. It was like there was somebody in space that the Rashford or the Sancho or Elanga, somebody always seemed to be in space. And Avalanche what Liverpool were doing with the ball, especially and in that midfield, and just got dominated. Which United's midfield never dominates anyone, but in this game they dominated it. And keep in mind they were playing a 4-4-1-1. They weren't even playing a 4-3-3. United they were playing a 4-4-1-1. So they were in fact playing with two midfielders, but Bruno kept dropping in, kept making sure that he was sticking tight. And I think it helped. It just helped United just control that midfield. They played a high line as well. Again, something that they can't do with Maguire and Shaw, but they could do it with this team. And they played a high line. They made sure they compacted the space. And so what it meant was that Liverpool were being hurried. And I don't think Liverpool are used to playing for teams that play that way. I don't think teams play against Liverpool that way. So it worked in this game. It was a tactical masterclass. Let's just call it. It was a tactical masterclass for Mike. And he got all of his decisions spot on. Whereas against Brentford, he got everything wrong. I think in this one, he got everything right. And then that second goal, I thought Rashford was offside actually in that second goal. Liverpool kind of grew into the game towards the end of the half, which you kind of expected. They were tiring, not used to playing this way. They're not fit enough, of course. So they tired. Liverpool got into it. The second half started again. United kind of under the cosh. And and then suddenly the break comes. Liverpool give the ball away in midfield. I think it was Milner. I think it was Milner who gave the ball. It could have been Henderson. I'm not sure who it was, but or maybe Elliot. But I think it was Milner. Gives the ball away. Sancho picks it up, and I thought Rashford was offside. I really thought Rashford was offside. I was screaming at my TV. So why the hell are you doing that? Just stay onside, stay onside. But he timed his run actually to perfection because he was just about onside. And then it's a nice finish. It was a wonderful finish. And I couldn't enjoy the finish because I thought he was offside. Looking on my screen, I thought he was offside. But it was a wonderful finish. Though to finish like that against Alisson is something because he doesn't usually let people always score against him on one-on-ones. Like he's pretty good on one-on-ones, Alisson. So to do that was fantastic. And at 2-0, again, there's this. I mean, Newcastle were 2 goals up against Manchester City, and they got complacent and they let it slip. United thankfully didn't do that. They kept against shape. They kept the compactness. They made sure that they were doing whatever they were doing, which really was making sure that Salah and Diaz didn't get the ball. They didn't want that out ball because that was the out ball. If Salah and Diaz picked up the ball and had space to run, United were in trouble. So they made sure that they didn't let them have that out ball. I thought Diallo was fantastic. I thought Malacia was brilliant. And that's what they did. They just made sure that they were not letting Salah and Diaz cut inside. So they had to start wide, and then it meant that there were more space for them to have to cover, so they couldn't get it. So that was, I think, again, fantastic detailing there from Ten Hag as well. And Liverpool did get the one back, and then Fabio Carvalho coming on made a difference for Klopp. They're ravaged by injuries, so you don't have a lot of options well. So you've got to put that as well in context. But it just felt like they didn't have that many options. With Carvalho coming on, changed the game because it gave them a bit more pace in that midfield, a bit more energy. And it was nice to the goal was actually pretty well worked because the corner, the cross came in. It was a corner that came in. Dalot couldn't play it clearly. The ball goes back in. Eriksen missed his head. If Eriksen got his head to that move was dead, but he couldn't get his head onto it. And so it falls to Carvalho. Carvalho shoots. De Gea makes a good save, but then Salah scores the rebound. I thought Salah actually had a pretty average game, to be honest. He wasn't very good today. Yet he still pops up with the goal because that's how good he is. He's a world-class player. And once that goal goes in, it's a bit nervy. But I don't think Liverpool created a lot of chances. I think aside from that goal back period, which of course the corner came from Firmino almost scoring, is what they made the same. That was, I think, the first real chance of the game that Liverpool had. I don't think they created a lot of chances. So that would be a concern for Liverpool that they didn't create a lot of goal scoring opportunities. It's all different, the fact that the defense got caught out. But against United, you've got to at least be creating chances, and they did it. And I think that would be something I'll concern Klopp as well. The real issue is in that midfield, though. I mean, for Liverpool, the real issue is in that midfield. I mean, and this is what worries me as a United fan is now they'll go and say, well, let's go and buy a midfielder. Because I thought we were just going to go to the end of the window and then not buy a midfielder. But I think they might just buy a midfielder. But they need someone in there because I don't think Milner and Henderson cut it anymore. I don't think you can play them together. Especially, I don't understand why he played the two of them. I know they were shorter numbers, but I would have probably started for Fabinho in the game and then you bring on Milner later on because having Phil Milner and Henderson both kind of just made it a little bit static, and that wasn't very good. So that may be an issue. And then defensively as well, the issues are again there's injuries, but I thought Trent looked absolutely horrible defensively. And again, it always happens where he's for some reason Trent Alexander-Arnold always struggles against Marcus Rashford. I don't know what hold he has over him, but he always struggles against Marcus Rashford. And I think he didn't have a good game defensively. And that's a problem as well for them. I think Robertson looked a little bit off the pace as well. I mean, I don't think any Liverpool player aside from Carvalho actually comes up with any kind of credit. And maybe Luis Diaz actually, and those are the two players that come up with any kind of credit. Everybody else just looked average or very bad, and that's something for Klopp to sort out. Then now United go above them in the table, so that's something as well. For Manchester United perspective, I did issue a public apology to Lisandro Martinez because after the game against Brentford, I said his career as a Premier League centre back might be over. I did say it probably is over because he was taken off at halftime. And after the game, I did think, I believe that his career was over because I thought Maguire would never be dropped, and him and Maguire can't play together for sure. But today, I think he showed what will happen if he doesn't play Maguire. And then the reason is Martinez is not a player who you can stick on any striker. He can't mark a striker. He can't do that. I mean, even Firmino, for that one chance that Liverpool had before the goal, Firmino actually physically outmatched Martinez, and then he got that shot away. So I don't think physically he's going to match up. What he can do is he can, be the sort of spare man against teams that play with one striker, and he can kind of mop up and intercept and do all that. He does that brilliantly. Ball on the floor, he's fantastic, right? And that's what he did. Varane, because of his stature, he said, I'm going to be the guy who's going to mark Firmino. I'm going to be the guy who's going to mark the striker. You just focus on making sure that you intercept and clear everything, and he can do that. The problem with Maguire is Maguire doesn't like doing that. For whatever reason it is, Maguire just hates doing that. And so Maguire will never do that will never be the man who's going to mark somebody. And that, that says more about Maguire than Martinez, to be honest. But the fact is Maguire likes to be the spare man. So because Maguire wants to be the spare man, Martinez has got to be the marker, and he cannot do that. He can't do that. So to me, if Martinez plays on Maguire, that's a problem. And I think that Ten Hag has seen that and he's recognized that and he's dropped Maguire, which I'm glad for. But I think Martinez can be a Premier League striker as long as he's not tasked with marking a striker. So I don't know how that's going to work against teams that play with two up top. Not a lot of teams play with that, so that should be okay. But the teams that play a single striker, he's got to play alongside Varane. That's the only way he can work. So anyway, that's something. But anyway, public apology. I think Martinez might still be a Premier League centre back. So my apologies. You had a wonderful game today. I thought Varane was the man of the match. I think he had to be the man of the match. The way he marshaled that defense, the way he did everything, I think he just looked superb in that game. I thought he ran that game from centre back, and he had to. He had to, because he was the one who was going to have to hold everyone together. It was a very inexperienced back line, by the way, and he was the most experienced head. He made sure that everything went smoothly on his end. Sancho's goal was good. Rashford was okay as well. I think Rashford played as someone who probably believes that his career might be under threat now. So hopefully that will spur him on to perform well as well. I thought Bruno had his better game. I don't think he was flawless, but I think he had his better game in a while. I still feel he might be the odd one out when Casemiro joins in that midfield, because if Casemiro, Fred, I think Casemiro coming in might mean Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen might be the first choice. That's my understanding. But if that is the case, then I see Bruno losing out. But we'll see what happens with that, of course. Anyway, fantastic game for United. Smash like for Manchester United. Smash like for Rafael Varane. Smash like for the protesters, because they did a really good job. So this smash like for them as well. I think lots of positives to take away from today. Love the game. Share your comments. What did you think of the matches? I know we've gone a bit longer than we normally do, but share your thoughts, share your comments. Let me know what you think. Feel free to troll me as well when I talk about Martinez. I'm always here to hear comments, of course. Do remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We just crossed 900 subscribers. We want to get to 950 soon on Facebook, that is, and we crossed 180 on YouTube as well. So we're going to get to 190. So thank you so much for your support. Please do keep supporting us and subscribe. So thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.